did you get the three artists that you famous for working with? Where did you get Zionide, Mystic, and Planet Asia? How did you meet them, and how did y'all become a music family?
So I'll start with Asia. So Asia, Planet Asia from Fresno, but I met him. He came to my studio, is what it was. I recorded his first album that was ever released to anybody. As soon as he got out here, because I had been working with so many people, like how you came to my studio. Like I was just working with all the independent cats because I had a 24-track studio. It was one of the only ones around, one of the few around. I won't say the only ones. Few.
For those that don't know, that's big for
big.
Independent artists.
Yeah, it was big at the time, And so Asia came through. I recorded his record. At the time, I was doing a studio. I also worked at a record distributor called TRC, which was the largest one-stop record distributor on the West Coast. We sold, vinyl, cassettes, and all that kind of stuff too.
Where was they located?
It was in San Bruno.
Okay.
Rascal used to work there. Remember Rascal?
The rapper, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He used to work there. Peanut Butter Wolf was there. Zion Eyes, that was Zion Eyes distributor. There was a company called New Groove Alliance that was attached to that distributor. That was the home of Stone Store Records. That was the home of like groups like Jurassic 5, Good Vibe Records, which is what released Mystic's album. It was, they had a lot of like that West Coast independent hip hop music coming out of that spot. So I was working there as a sales rep for hip hop. So I was on the phone all day talking to people around the world about West Coast hip hop. You know what I mean? And selling our music, just pushing it past what we were doing from Telegraph, right? Mm-hmm. So just having a name in that Bay Area scene in the late 90s, that's how Asia came to me. And he saw me doing all of these different things. I had different connections and everything like that. He was the first person to say to me, why don't you be my manager? You know what I mean?
Why'd you accept it? What did you see in him?
Just bars. Like, yeah,
Asia's got fire.
Yeah, he's one of the Planet Asia, I don't give a fuck, is to this day, he's one of the best bar for bar, top 5, period. And people just haven't listened to him. You know what I'm saying? If you disagree, you ain't really listened to him. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about that. I mean, so I saw Asia one night at a club, J-Rock was spinning. We're in the city somewhere in some club. And it was a beat was playing, and I knew the beat, but somebody was rapping on it, but it wasn't the song that I knew was supposed to be on the beat. So I'm thinking, is the DJ putting something on it? And I'm looking around. The DJ booth is like up, like elevated, so it's not like on the floor. So I look up, and then I see Asia in the DJ booth. He took the headphones off the DJ, put them, and he started he was rapping through the headphones. I don't know if everybody knows you can do that. If you put the headphones into the mic, you can rap through. You can use it as a microphone.
Oh, wow.
So he was rapping through the headphones and killing it. And I was like, shit.
Right.
It sounded better than the song that I knew that was on it.
Okay.
Then I heard, that's how we, then I was like, oh, man, we got to work together. You know what I'm saying? I think that was one of the first times. And then like I said, I did his album. Then eventually he was like, yo, you got to hook me, you got to work with me. And I knew, I have connections because I had been meeting people. I've been, as soon as I got my license, I tried to drive to LA and get a record deal. You know what I'm saying? So I knew interns and I knew people in these buildings already. I'd already been through Beverly Hills and LA and all of that by the time I met Asia. So when he hit me, he had so much, and that time was special because, there was all this college radio, there was a lot of hip hop shows. We had like the Maritime Hall, like wow. The market was like the number 4 market at one point. You know what I'm saying? Everybody came through the Bay.
Wow, we were the number 4 market at that time?
Absolutely. You remember the Gavin and all of that?
Yeah, I remember when the Gavin used to come to the Henry J.
Yeah, man. Like
that's when Richie Ridge rode the motorcycle on stage.
Right.
Yeah.
So all of that, like there was a time when it was you had to come through the Bay, and be a part when the Wake Up Show was here and all that stuff, man. So it was just Asia had a lot going on at that time. Like he was building a momentum. Rascal was building a momentum, and he was Rascal's hype man. And when he said that to me, won't you be my manager? A light bulb went off. It's like, I could actually do something with you, because I have the connections. and all I got to do is package your stuff up. So I made a call and packaged it up. They liked it, and the rest is almost history. He got his deal with Interscope, and we traveled around the world a few times.
A few times.
Yeah, laid it down.
But see, at this same exact time, Mystic was on top of the world.
That's
so
right.
How did that happen?
So,
and how did that mix with the Planet Asia work you was doing?
I met Mystic through another artist named Jenny Fujita that I used to work with. So Jenny was down with the Fugees, and she had a deal on Columbia. She did a song with Mystic that I had produced, and I didn't really know her at the time, so that's how we had first met. And then later on, she came to me when I was doing that my studio thing on 40th Street to produce a song for that album, The Cuts for Luck and Scars for Freedom. I wasn't managing really at the time when we did that song, but then by the time I started working with Asia and she came back around and she started getting deeper into her project, I was full-fledged managing cats at the time. So she approached me and was like, how would you feel about working with me? And I was like, yeah, music is dope, she's dope, let's go. And I was on a roll. I had some momentum at the time. Zion I had met at La Pena, man. You know what I'm saying? La Pena, like just in the scene, like on stage, like back to back with Zion and Amp, and I recorded their first album too.
What year? What we talking? Mid-90s?
Yeah, like probably like what year did all that come out? Like 98, 99,
okay,
something like that. But the first one, the Mind Over Matter.
Right.
Yeah, they did that at grandma's house. You know what I'm saying? In the closet. There's a video. We shot a movie there. It was a trip called Return of the B-Boy. It was the last footage of Mike Dream because he was there because he passed a week later.
Wow.
Yeah, I got photos of him bombing this truck in front of my house.
I grew up with him too. I knew him since the 80s.
Yeah, rest in peace. But like, I recorded Zion too. So it was like I had a team, and I had a company down in L.A. with some cats. It's called Bat Management, and we had, I was plugged in with some cats that were super plugged in, legacy style down there. So we were able to make some crazy moves while we was down there.
So what would you say your biggest accomplishment as a manager, particularly at that time? What do you feel like some of the biggest things was? Is it the world tours? Is it the checks? Well, what is it?
I mean, it was the whole whirlwind experience. You know what I mean? Like at that time, I tell people I got in at the tail end of the golden age. You know what I mean? Like right before everything took a dive, right before the MP3s and Napster.
So right before the digital age.
Man, they were still handing it out, baby. You know what I'm saying? Right. I got a check. I mean, I've lived much better than many kings have lived around, throughout time, and been able to see the world and meet people and just, exchange globally, because of the love of music. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing better. You know what I mean? So
did the management situation get you into the behind the scenes situation?
Totally. I went behind the scenes because I was an artist. I was an artist.
Right. I was 427, right?
Right, 427. Eclipse 427, mixed practice. We had, we was out there. I was out there on the block slinging tapes just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So, like, but the trip behind the scenes when I started doing the management, just gave me a whole nother perspective.